I left Rosa sitting on the car and turned to face Fedora fully. I thought you said you were going somewhere. Why aren't you there, and how did you get here? She turned her gaze to me. I got another call that the meeting wouldn't hold, so I returned to the hotel only to see your car leaving. So I just followed you. She moved closer to me. Okay, but you should have called me. She kissed me and wrapped her arms around me. Her eyes moved to Rosa, then back to me. Sorry, so you actually have a house here. And you didn't tell me you had another lady here. Let's go back to the hotel. No, let's just go inside. What's the need of going to a hotel when there's a huge house? No, we can't stay here. She frowned and removed her arms from my shoulders. Why? Is it because of her? Are you having an affair with her? Whoa. Why is Fedora suddenly acted too serious? Since when did she care about my affairs? Sometimes, she even used to watch me having sex with other girls and she'll be laughing and making fun of them. Since she's the expert. Rosa jumped down from the car, then muttered, ouch, I guess her leg hurt her a little. We're not having any affair. You guys can stay here. I promise not to disturb. Good night. She held her teddy bear and walked away slowly. Fedora's eyes followed her suspiciously. Fedora, bad boy, there's something fishy about that girl. Who is she? Can't talk about her now. I carried her and sat her down on the car. Rosa. Bad boy has a girlfriend and I didn't know. If I knew, I would have left a long time ago. I don't want to cause problems for anybody. And I don't think that girl is going to like me at all. She looks so evil with those tattoos and piercings like Korean witch. I went straight to my room and sat on my bed. I played with my teddy's nose and kissed it repeatedly. My tummy began to grumble. I need something to eat again. I stood up and walked downstairs to the kitchen. On getting there, I saw a terrible scene. Bad boy having his girlfriend right on the dining table. I quickly removed my eyes and entered the kitchen. Gosh, why would they do such a thing? And isn't that supposed to be private? Why does it have to be the dining room, and the table of all places? I grabbed some shortcakes and some milk, then tiptoed out of the kitchen. I was still limping and was very slow in walking. I took a glance at the table and they were still in their dirty business. The sounds Fedora was making were deafening. Aren't they even ashamed of the maids or workers? I hurriedly climbed the stairs, though I was slow and the things in my hands didn't let me walk fast enough in case it will fall or spill. I finally got to the end of the stairs and took the turn to my room. I almost fell when I saw Fedora standing in front of me. I screamed and staggered a little. Ha 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 ha, are you that clumsy and scared easily? I balanced myself and stared at her with the plate of cakes in my right hand and the glass of milk in my left. How do you like your stay here? I didn't answer her. You know, you should definitely leave anytime soon. I'm just warning you against bad boy. I don't understand. Bad boy is wanted all over and whosoever mingles with him is wanted too. So you're wanted? She laughed. I'm just warning you because you're so innocent and inexperienced. And not a word of this discussion to bad boy. She glared at me sternly and I nodded. She smiled and took one of my cakes. Bye. She walked away. My eyes followed her down the stairs. I gulped and went into my room. I heard her words in my head again. Bad boy is wanted all over and whosoever mingles him is wanted too. I sat on my bed and suddenly gained maximum appetite, unlike other people who lose appetite when they're sad, depressed or angry. I gained maximum appetite instead. I began to eat like a glutton, so within a few minutes I had already consumed 9 cakes and my glass was already empty. I climbed the bed and hugged my teddy bear. Maybe I should even run away and be safe because I'm really scared. Fedora. I tossed my head to the right and closed my eyes as bad boy was moving in and out of me. I opened my eyes and saw the girl sneaking into the kitchen. I smirked and held onto bad boy's shirt. Few minutes later, I saw her leaving the kitchen. Just then bad boy released. He pulled out and gave me that evil grin of his. I sat up and kissed him. Let me go upstairs and change. He kissed me and I got off the table, which was already in disarray. I hurriedly moved into the elevator and went to stand over the stairs because I know she took the stairs. She eventually came up and I confronted her and told her to leave. Not because I care about her existence in this house, but because I don't want her in my business. I lighted a cigarette and sat in the living room watching TV. The show was on Music Talks and all those stuff. I saw the maids arranging the dining area and one of them was glancing lustfully at me. I smirked and faced the TV. By the way, where is Rosa? Is she asleep already? I stood up to go upstairs, but Fedora came back and pushed me down. Where are you going? To go get me? She sat down on my legs and cuddled me. Tell me about your recent activities. Which one exactly? Everything. Well, I kidnapped the president's daughter. I know, and I smuggled in weapons for your dad. I know that too. I threatened to throw a bomb blast. I know. Then what do you still want me to tell you? Okay, just tell me what next you are going to do. I pushed her away and stood up, then went to the bar. I poured myself a drink and took it one shot. She stood up and walked to me. You're not gonna answer me? I wanna lay low for now. I don't intend on doing anything yet. I kissed her lips and then poured myself another glass of wine. Okay baby. We went to the cushion and began to fondle each other. A maid came in and immediately turned back when she saw us. We laughed and continued with each other. Rosa. I woke up the next morning and went down for breakfast. I had breakfast alone and I was glad because I didn't want to see Fedora again. I went back upstairs and changed into something casual. I wanted going outside when I saw Bad Boy and Fedora walking down the hallway. I went back into my room and sat down. I began to feel really bored with nothing to do. I checked through the window and looked down at the cars and everything, including the workers. I was getting a little bit entertained, but I frowned when the two lovers walked hand in hand to a car. I felt a little bit angry. Why do I have to see them all the time? And Bad Boy doesn't even remember I exist anymore. Do they love each other that much that they're always together? I went downstairs when their car drove out. I turned on the TV and watched for about 2 hours. Then I got up again and went outside the house for the first time in about 3 weeks. It took me a few minutes to convince the security guard that I was just going a few meters away from the vicinity. I looked around and saw that there were other houses around with similar designs and looks. I don't think they know that Bad Boy is living with them. Anyway, according to that maid, she said he hardly visited the house. So it's because of me he now lives here? I looked back at the house and smiled a little before going further. Bad Boy. There's something weird about Fedora these days. She's a little bit withdrawn and hiding some things. And she asks too much questions lately. It's also mainly about my activities. There's something she's up to. It's high time I become the viper that I am. As wise as a serpent. Fedora. I'm going to see Dad. We'll be back later. What time? Emma, I'll just call you anytime I'm coming. Where will you wait for me? Here. Aren't you tired of this hotel room? No, I've got other work to do. I kissed his cheek. Bye-bye. I walked out and took my car to a casino to meet someone who's not my dad. I moved to the inner room and saw him sitting down with a glass of beer in front of him. He stretched his arm and I moved to him. He kissed my neck and I giggled. Do I know any news? No, but we can take action anytime soon. I can't wait to see him down. I unbuttoned my shirt and modeled myself for him. He gladly took me up to a bed and fully removed my dress. I waited to see if they would come back, but they didn't come back that night. Not that I want to see them, but I just want to see Bad Boy. I admit it, I kinda miss him. Especially when he's drunk. The next morning, I saw strange movements outside the house. The men were looking strange and it seemed as if they were monitoring. I got scared and went back inside. I felt like calling Bad Boy to ask if it was his boys, but I didn't because I didn't have his number. I felt uneasy when the movements were getting too suspicious. I went into my room and packed my bags. Bad boy, new 100s. Fedora is going out again. This time I'm going to find out where she is always going because I know she doesn't know much people around here. I planted a chip in her dress that would record everything being said. She left and minutes later, I heard voices in my computer. I listened and found out that she was working against me. I got so angry that I almost threw the computer away. I searched for the location of the voices and grinned. I took my gun and moved out. RIP Fedora. To be continued. Watch out Part 7.